Hello everybody, I'm Conquering History Games, and welcome to a brand new campaign on the channel and a brand new mod for Hearts of Iron 4. And we're going in deep, ladies and gentlemen. This is Balefire Blues, which is a cross-mod, sub-mod, crossover. I'm not sure how you would actually describe this. It's basically Equestria at War meets Fallout. The Old World Blues, specifically the Old World Blues mod, so right there, Equestria War, Old World Blues, fused together into a new world. There's also apparently some Fallout Equestria in here, which I think was like a fan fiction series. I'm not totally sure about it, but I'm going in completely blind. This is literally the first time I've booted this up. I haven't looked at the map. I haven't looked at any of the countries. The only thing I've done is I've made sure that I've got the mods set up correctly, so I don't think we're going to have any crashes. And I went onto the Balefire Blues Discord to get suggestions for a first nation to play as, and I was getting pretty consistent answers, so I think I know who we're going to play. It's probably in the title of the video. Anyway, let's go ahead and begin the adventure now. Just as a heads up, I don't know nothing about the Fallout world, but it's been a while since I played New Vegas. I'd like to play it again at some point this year, actually. Maybe do like some sort of theme run. But I forgive me if there's some sort of Fallout lore thing that's really obvious, and I'm going, what does this mean? I don't understand. I don't know very much, and even what I did know was years ago. Okay, so let's go ahead and start up a new game. Oh, perfect, top left here. So this is who I kept getting suggested for my first playthrough. Let's see who this is. The Red Eyes Slavers. Or just Red Eyes Slavers. The Great War plunged the world into seemingly eternal darkness and threw everything into chaos. Creatures struggled to survive, and over the decades, the survivors banded into larger and larger groups. Settlers continue on in an attempt to retain the morals of the old world. Tribals stalk the lands of their ancestors, hunting and avoiding the technology left behind by the old world. Raiders continue to dominate the wasteland, killing, pillaging, and burning. Resources are scarce, and the numerous communities of the wasteland are always struggling to survive. Okay. Who do we got here? All right, let's just select this guy, Red Eye, and I think we could read about him when we get in here. Okay, so it looks like it takes place on the... See, I don't know if this is right or not. I'm hoping it's right. This looks like it takes place in the Equestria at War continent, at least a chunk of it. I like that Lightbringer is the expert rating. That's cool. Excuse me, should be Dawnbreaker. Anyway. Alright. Well, it looks like we're the biggest nation in terms of geographic, space. Physical space, so we'll see how that goes. Okay, cool. This is what I was hoping to see. The little intro thing. Few knew... excuse me. Few knew of the stable hidden deep in the heart of Everfree, and none would have predicted that a simple scout from that stable would become the greatest monster the wasteland had ever seen. Oh my. Red Eye built up from his cathedral in the Everfree forest, assembling an army of the elite Talon mercenaries, led by the Griffin Stern. The hills of the Rambling Rock Ridge were the first to fall under Red Eye's dominion. Where's the music? Okay, this is it. I like this. Yeah. So one of the things that's wild is apparently you have to have both the Fallout and the Equestria War mod as a base, and then you also turn on this mod. And those other two are both total conversion mods that completely change the map and other things, and somehow they work together. So this is it's incredible. It's incredible. The modding community's done it again. What else can I say? The hills, some modders ask why, other modders say why not. Okay, so the hills of the Rambling Rock Ridge were the first to fall under Red Eye's new dominion, newly conquered ponies serving as the foundation to Red Eye's slave empire. His forces continued to grow, absorbing the local raider gangs and impressing slaves into his army. By then, Red Eye was a force to be reckoned with, although not the dominant power in the region. That honor fell to the raider warlord Brimstone Blitz and his vicious Bloodletter clan, the perpetrators of the infamous sacking of Ponyville. It was inevitable that these two factions would come into conflict. The only question is, who would strike first? Red Eye moved against Brimstone Blitz, beginning the horrific Hinterlands campaign. While the Raiders had dominated wasteland combat for nearly 200 years, they served little match for the better equipped and better disciplined Talon army. Thus, the Bloodletter clan's chokehold on the region was broken, their forces scattered and fractured into new, smaller gangs as Brimstone Blitz was taken captive, forced to work as a slave for the rest of his days. However, Red Eye wasn't done. He had his eyes trained on the great city of Philadelphia and all the wonders of the old world that it held. His army blazed a path of destruction across the hinterlands, aided by conspirators who promised a place in Red Eye's new empire. Oh, no, that sentence is correct. Aided by conspirators who promised a place in Red Eye's new empire. Settlement after settlement fell under his hoof. The army of Talon's raiders and slaves, acting as a relentless wave pushing towards the city, trailed by a sea of slaves being herded towards their fate. After the push through the hinterlands, Red Eye did not waste a single moment in attacking the city. Knowing of the incoming tide, sorry, I heard something here. The Philadelphia Steel Rangers decided to block the north side of the city. I don't hear much music. Play. What's going on here? Play something. I guess I have to do it manually. I don't know how much of this stuff is going to be copyrighted. Alright. So. They advanced the north side, caring little for the ponies. With each city block Red Eye's army took, the Rangers pulled back in turn, a mass exodus of ponies following them who had abandoned everything in an attempt to escape the coming storm. What was left were utterly defenseless ponies, herded into makeshift cages, and forced to build Philadelphia's now famous wall, locking all the slaves into their new existence as Red Eye's pawns for his greater plan. Always looking for a new way to grow his power, Red Eye turned his gaze south, towards the assembled settlements and raiders of the Sunny Shore. So that's this. Who quickly formed a feudal alliance of necessity against him. Unfortunately, in the years since the relentless march of the Hinterlands campaign, the raiders of Red Eye's army have grown restless and chaotic, sending his forces into disarray. Not only that, the situation in Philadelphia has rapidly deteriorated, with the masters led by the prominent slaver Chainlink Shackles, wow, what a name for a pony, growing more antagonistic towards Stern and her Talons with each passing week, balance kept only by Red Eye's indomitable will. Worse still, the slaves have begun organizing into unions and are actively resisting our control over them. Once the Sunny Shore is subjugated, Red Eye must turn inward and focus on building a stable foundation for his ultimate goal of true equestrian unity. Okay, there's no regional stuff. Balefire Blues expands on Equestria War's racial technology system with 2 new races, Pegasi and Alicorns. Okay, so they've been subdivided. Accessible by Enclave nations and the Unity, respectively. Due to Pegasi being split from Earth ponies and unicorns, the pony tech tree has been changed and expanded to reflect this. Due to the inherent cultural overlap found in most nations of the Wasteland, racial units are not necessarily locked to only a single race. For example, Red Eye's Slavers has the ability to research both Talon Mercs, the Griffin racial unit, and Unicorn companies, the Pony racial unit. I thought those were called Mage companies. I guess they changed it. Same thing. Unicorn is actually more accurate. There is a mixture of OWB resources and Equestria, the Old World Blues resources, and Equestria at War's Crystals resources. Crystals are used in constructing advanced magical equipment such as pulse energy weapons, Enclave Raptors, and Alicorn equipment. Balefire Blues merges Old World Blues 3 levels of technology, tribal, civilized, and advanced, with Equestria at War's development system. The 3 levels of scientific development found in the Cultural Policies section of the political menu correspond to each level of tech. So, for example, we are at Was it this Wasteland research base? Is that it? No, scientific development would be... Well, I guess, yeah, this. Okay. While each giving their own secondary effects, Balefire Blues introduces our own type of development, ranging from Old World Society to Raider Society to Tribal Society. So that's this, I guess. Yeah. Certain nations or levels of development may restrict diplomatic options, such as Stable 2 and their locked Stable Society, which completely cuts them off from the outside world until they open their impenetrable door. So I guess that's kind of like the Arcturian order in Equestria at War, where they have isolated themselves. Two types of development, Raider Society and Slaver Society, unlock a dynamic rating system adapted from Equestria at War, which allows you to raid your neighbors for specific effects, including capturing slaves. Replacing the traditional nuclear warfare system are various mega spells, powerful magics that can unleash devastating or useful effects upon a battlefield. The mega spell menu can be found in the top bar under the miscellaneous tabs button to the right of the logistics. So that's this. Okay, that's weird that it's why not just have that be there, but maybe that just says something they have to code it that way. I'm sure there's a good reason for it. Oh my. Balefire bombs. So I guess let's open this. Can we not drag it? Can we drag this? Okay, so Balefire bombs, healing spells, Celestial 1. I guess we're gonna see what those are. Balefire bombs are a stand-in for traditional nuclear weapons, a zebra design that uses necromantic magic in the place of radioactive material. Balefire bombs are activated in the same way as nukes, though they do not require air superiority to be triggered. Makes sense? Healing spells are currently the only positive mega spell in Balefire Blues, and can be used to give significant bonuses to your army for a short period of time. They can be activated by a leader ability, or, if you aren't using the Waking the Tiger DLC, via a button in the mega spell menu. Celestial 1 functions similarly to Balefire bombs, but is a reusable and renewable source of destruction. Celestial 1 is currently only usable by 10 Pony Tower, though a new menu found in the state tab once the mega spell has been unlocked. Okay, this Operation Paperclip thing, this has been around for a bit. We don't need to talk about that. Yeah, AI improvements. As we all know, the Equestria War team does AI better than Paradox does. Dynamic leader generation. Red Eye Slavers can generate regular Wasteland Raiders and Griffin Generals, all of which use different name lists. This does not carry any gameplay changes outside of leadership traits. Again, that's just a change log. Okay. I think we can actually start the game now. And by start, I mean we're not going to unpause this episode. Don't worry about that. Let's start going through our alerts. First off, how many research slots do we have? We have 3. Very nice. Okay. Oh my. Oh my. Brand new technology tree here. Vehicles. Gun trucks, APCs. Those sound pretty cool. Might take a little while for us to get there, though. How about we... It's me trying to figure out what to do here. We've got tech levels. Okay, this is like all research, special technologies. There's the Talon mercenaries we were just hearing about. We have legionnaires. Presumably this is like the Caesar's Legion equivalent and stuff like that. You know what? Earth Pony agriculture can't go wrong there, right? Decryption, reinforce rate. What's this? Research speed, 2%. Oh, that's nice. Ohm's law states that the current through a conductor between 2 points is directly proportional to the voltage across the 2 points. It is quintessential for anything remotely related to electricity. Great. Let's see here. I think we're gonna... Mr. Handsy, Mr. Gutsy. This might be faster than doing that other stuff. production efficiency cap goes up. This will speed up our production rate. Is this Times New Roman? Alright, well, I guess we'll just do that stuff for now. Because we need to move on to other stuff. Okay, so you have some civilian factories that are open here. Okay, where's our capital? It's the cathedral. Let's max that out. What we think of what else we're going to do here. There was the Sunny Shoals. Huh, alright, we got Shattered Hoof Raiders. Neo Castle Guilds. Ooh, spooky looking. This is the coalition that was going against me. A lot of tiny ones up here. A lot of minor nations, looks like. Oh, Stable 32. So is this supposed to be like Vault 32? Is that what this is? Anyway, we need to focus on ourselves. Okay, free military factories. Weaponry, anti-tank, makeshift squad, anti-weapon. Pinkie Pie balloon. I like the sound of that. We're already doing support equipment. I don't know, gliders. Besides that, let's just dump this into support equipment for right now. Okay, national focuses. What do we got here? The Great Revolt. This is always false, so this is probably something we can't do until later. Fire of Industry. We have to complete Red Eye's army. So it looks like we probably have to go down here. Oh yeah, just a couple things that are just gonna take about a week each. I don't know if this is everything. I don't know if stuff's gonna pop out. I guess it doesn't. I guess we don't need to look too closely into this stuff yet, because final crackdown. Because we have to do these first three anyway. So what's this Birth of a Monster? Red-Eye was not always the monster of the wasteland. Once he was but a simple scout for Stable 101, buried deep in the heart of the Everfree. A scout who saw the horrors of the wastes, who saw his stable do nothing to help those who were suffering, who knew that something had to change regardless of whether or not his stable agreed. Alright. Fulltopia, huh? Wow. Looks very excited to be in a so-called utopia. Fulltopia.
Yes,
Alright, we got a bunch of pit fighters. Oh, I like these icons. This one here. The slave militia, though. Alright, who's our commanding officer? Stern here. They're a Griffin. They're a Merc commander. This increases their leader experience gain. Nice. Division attrition goes down, so does planning speed. They're strong. So their attack and defense goes up. Perceptive, excuse me. Had something in my throat there. Perceptive also increases attack and defense, and charismatic fixes supply consumption. Very nice. So, yeah, we have different style unit leader traits. I like this. I like that each one has its own line. Jungle Rat becomes a Jungle Monkey. Rad Apprentice. Fighting on terrain, radioactive wastes. Oh, there's wastes that we walk across, huh? Well, that's something we should be careful about, I guess. Okay, we have air wings that don't have missions. I think it's just the one. Just get you to do some pilot exercises for right now, although it doesn't look like we have very much oil. What kind of resources do we have access to? Okay, I'm seeing here... that's probably not the best way to look at our resources. Let's look at trade. Yeah, okay, so trade. So it looks like the resources we have are water, energy, so that's what we need up here. Yeah, energy cells. There's scrap metal, composite materials for when scrap doesn't cut it, circuitry, advanced components for advanced weaponry, and crystals, because it's the pony world. Alright, so it looks like we got water, we got scrap metal, a lot of stuff here in the cathedral. Yeah, we got energy, scrap metal, composite materials, circuitry, and advanced components here. What is this? Okay. Extinct down. Guess that's a logo that indicates a town. Alright. What's this? We don't have any divisions in basic training. Let's check our logistics. Oh, I don't know. Let's queue something up. What does the decision tree look like? Okay. Interesting stuff. We've got slave trade. We sit upon the greatest center of industry the wasteland has ever seen. Philadelphia, the city of slaves. Every one of Red Eye's great factories is manned by masses of slaves, as are the towns and fields across the hinterlands. I just gotta say that by the time that this series is getting uploaded, it's probably gonna be at around the same time as my Burgundian campaign. Because I thought, let's get some Equestria War and also Burgundy happening daily. One's cute ponies, and the other is a horrible, horrible person who thinks the Nazis don't go far enough and enslaves and murders and genocides. But maybe the two campaigns are going to turn out to be a little similar. Anyway, masses of slaves in order to... I'm just saying, I'm getting Rodomo vibes here. In order to maintain and expand our great empire, a steady supply of fresh meat is needed. We own 25,000 slaves. So reclaiming arms factory. There were countless factories built for the war effort across Equestria. They can be brought back to functionality. So whenever I want to do this, it costs me political power, and I'll lose slaves. Yeah, it's just like the Rodomo. maybe I'm just imagining a Nazi talking to a brony, and it's just like, maybe we're not so different, you and I, is extending a hand in friendship to shake hands. Okay, political actions. We can do things like hold speeches. This is stability stuff. Distribute water. We lose water, but we get stability. Alright. So there's some different things here. A vault of recordings containing backstory. Please pause music before playing. Also keep in mind playing multiple at one time is a bad idea, and the recordings are unpausable. Oh, so this is like the Casa Free State's poem, except it must be audio. Occurs after mod start. We'll come back to this in a second. But Lightbringer status. Little Pip, the scrappy, lovable rogue of the wasteland, is a unicorn mare from Stable 2. She left her only home to chase after a childhood crush and instead saw horrors behind her imagining. Ooh, you hate to hear that. In her travels, she vowed to make a change in the wasteland and to be a beacon of light against the darkness that envelops the lands of old Equestria. From deciding the fate of Shattered Hoof to stopping the goddess, as the Lightbringer, she may be the only pony left that can save the wasteland from herself. So she hasn't begun her journey, she's not met the Watcher, she is a true beacon of hope in the wasteland. So this is something we monitor, but I could choose to hide it. I don't know what that means. Man, I'm kind of wondering if I should have done this as a live stream first. Get the... Because on the one hand, I don't like when people backseat game, but it's different when you kind of have this hive mind of the chat to talk to. Hopefully some of them have played these things, and this is something where I'm not too concerned about spoilers, like in another game I'm planning to stream in March. Okay. I guess let's at least listen to this first Equestria intro. I don't know if we'll do the other ones right now or not. Let's just hit play. Let's see what happens.
Once upon a time in the magical land of Equestria, there came an era when the ideals of friendship gave way to greed, selfishness, paranoia, and a jealous reaping of dwindling space and natural resources. Lands took up arms against their neighbors. The end of the world occurred much as we had predicted. The world was plunged into an abyss of balefire and dark magic. The details are trivial and pointless. The reasons, as always, purely our own. The world was wiped nearly clean of life. A great cleansing, a magical spark struck by pony hooves quickly raged out of control. Megaspells rained from the skies. Entire lands were swallowed in flames and fell beneath the boiling oceans. Pony kind was almost extinguished, their spirits becoming part of the ambient radiation that blanketed the lands. A quiet darkness fell across the world. But it was not, as some have predicted, the end of the world. Instead, the apocalypse was simply the prologue for another bloody chapter in pony history. In the early days, thousands were spared the horrors of the Holocaust by taking refuge in enormous underground shelters known as stables. But when they emerged, they had only the hell of the wastes to greet them. All except those in Stable 2. For on that fateful day when spellfire rained from the sky, the giant steel doors of Stable 2 swung closed, and never reopened.
Looks like I can't play it a second time. So I'm wondering if, we got 5 minutes. Let's go ahead and just listen to them all, and then we'll do it. Because I was thinking, I wonder if I should do something with the Costa Free State where I read the poem separately from the main series. But let's just go ahead and listen to them all.
War. War never changes. The Romans waged war to gather slaves and wealth.
Wait, this is the actual
Spain built an empire from its lust for gold
and
territory.
I love it.
Hitler shaped a battered Germany into an economic superpower. But war never changes. In the 21st century, war was still waged over the resources that could be acquired. Only this time, the spoils of war were also its weapons. Petroleum and uranium. For these resources, China would invade Alaska, the US would annex Canada, and the European Commonwealth would dissolve into quarreling, bickering nation-states bent on controlling the last remaining resources on Earth. In 2077, the storm of World War had come again. In 2 brief hours, most of the planet was reduced to cinders. And from the ashes of nuclear devastation, a new civilization would struggle to arise. A few were able to reach the relative safety of the large underground vaults.
Okay. But then, the war never changes, he said it!
War never changes. The end of the world occurred pretty much as we had predicted. Too many humans, not enough space or resources to go around. The details are trivial and pointless. The reasons, as always, purely human ones. The Earth was nearly wiped clean of life. A great cleansing, an atomic spark struck by human hands, quickly raged out of control. Spears of nuclear fire rained from the skies. Continents were swallowed in flames and fell beneath the boiling oceans. Humanity was almost extinguished, their spirits becoming part of the background radiation that blanketed the Earth. A quiet darkness fell across the planet, lasting many years. Few survived the devastation. Some had been fortunate enough to reach safety, taking shelter in great underground vaults. When the great darkness passed, these vaults opened, and their inhabitants emerged to begin their lives again. One of the northern tribes claims they are descended from one such vault. They hold that their founder and ancestor, one known as the Vault Dweller, once saved the world from a great evil. According to their legend, this evil arose in the far south. It corrupted all it touched, twisting men inside, turning them into beasts. Only through the bravery of this Vault Dweller was the evil destroyed. But in so doing, he lost many of his friends and suffered greatly, sacrificing much of himself to save the world. When at last he returned to the home he had fought so hard to protect, he was cast out, exiled. In confronting that which they feared, he had become something else in their eyes, and no longer their champion. Forsaken by his people, he strode into the wasteland. He traveled far to the north, until he came to the Great Canyons. There he founded a small village, Arroyo, where he lived out the rest of his years. And so, for a generation since its founding, Arroyo has lived in peace, its canyons sheltering it from the outside world. It is home. Your home. But the scars left by the war have not yet healed, and the Earth has not forgotten.
Alright, and just one more. Yeah, I know that these are from the actual Fallout games, but they're awesome, so we're going to listen to them anyway.
War never changes. When atomic fire consumed the Earth, those who survived did so in great underground vaults. When they opened, their inhabitants set out across the ruins of the old world to build new societies, establishing villages, forming tribes. As decades passed, what had been the American Southwest united beneath the flag of the new California Republic, dedicated to old world values of democracy and the rule of law. As the Republic grew, so did its needs. Scouts spread east, seeking territory and wealth in the dry and merciless expanse of the Mojave Desert. They returned with tales of a city untouched by the warheads that had scorched the rest of the world, and a great wall spanning the Colorado River. The NCR mobilized its army and sent it east to occupy Hoover Dam and restore it to working condition. But across the Colorado, another society had arisen under a different flag. A vast army of slaves forged from the conquest of 86 tribes, Caesar's Legion. 4 years have passed since the Republic held the dam, just barely, against the Legion's onslaught. The Legion did not retreat. Across the river, it gathers strength. Campfires burn, training drums beat. Through it all, the New Vegas Strip has stayed open for business, under the control of its mysterious overseer, Mr. House, and his army of rehabilitated tribals and police robots.
Okay. I think that's it then. That's all the background stories. So in the next episode, we will go ahead and get started and see what this birth of a monster is and find out what's going on here. Oh, I guess we should read this real quick. The villain of the P. You know what? I bet a lot of you already turned off as soon as I was just playing the audio. So we'll just we'll read that next time so that more people hear it. I'm Conquering History Games. Thank you very much for joining me. Really curious how this is gonna go. It's like I said, I'm completely blind going into this. Yeah, we'll see. Be sure to subscribe and click the bell so you'll always be notified whenever a new campaign goes up on the channel or new videos in this one. I'll see you next time. Bye.